This woman writes, does anyone else try hard to find red flags in people they're dating? I think if you take this approach and look what's the bad in people, you're going to find the bad in people. It's like people just have naturally red flags. Everyone has red flags, if you want to basically label it that, in them. And so it's like, well, that's always going to be available for you to focus on. But so is what's good about this person. And so I'm not saying avoid these red flags or just like hide yourself from these red flags. It's like you absolutely need to recognize them when they come up and recognize them as really patterns of behavior that this person is doing. And that's going to lead to a specific result. Now you can either prepare and basically prepare for those results to happen and then kind of structure it or know how to really adjust to that other person's, whether it's their insecurities, whatever it is, whatever red flag you're seeing, and just either communicate that that doesn't work or be able to handle it in an effective way, again, that you've already prepared for. Now, that's all I'll say for that for now, and then I'll read this post. So she's 23. She says, I've come to notice that I desperately almost am looking out for any signs that the people I'm dating are not good people. Well, what that's going to do is your focus is going to be towards that. You're going to find what's bad in people. And then also when you're looking for the bad in people, what you'll also find is that you're bringing out the bad in yourself as well. And when you're looking for the good in people, you're bringing out the good as well. So just be very careful on this pattern of thinking. Because it's probably going to put you in the habit of feeling this way on a consistent basis as well. It feels like I self-sabotage, but my therapist says I'm simply attempting to protect myself. Yeah, okay, so it's a natural thing in your mind to do this because it's like maybe you've been hurt in the past, maybe that's why you're in therapy, or maybe not, maybe you're just trying to improve yourself, but whatever the reason is, it's like maybe you have this situation in the past where you're trying to avoid because now you've linked up pain to relationships and you feel like if you get into a relationship then you'll experience that pain again, and so you're finding ways that it won't work and you have that negative belief towards relationships. Now, unfortunately, to sustain a successful relationship, you have to shift those beliefs into basically believing that a relationship, hey, it probably will have some obstacles, some painful moments, but overall it's a really benefit to my life and I really need that in my life. And until you can basically associate those, it's like if you basically just live in this place that you're at right now over and over again, it's going to lead to you distancing yourself enough so you don't have to commit to a relationship. It feels like self-sabotage, but okay. Because the people that I've dated previously were, in fact, not good people, mainly anti-black. Geez, so you're dating like gang members, white supremacy kind of guys? Okay. I will purposefully ask certain questions to see what their views on it are, to see if their values align with mine. Which is incredibly important to me. But it feels just like in doing so, it becomes a lot harder to date and just enjoy the moment. Yeah, it's like if you're bringing up like weird things like this and like seeing if the other person's like has these beliefs, or even if it's not even in this context. So if you just eliminate basically her background in this, it's like if you talk about heavy topics, it's not going to be as fun of an experience for the other person and for you ultimately. So it's like keep the questions light. Keep it like, hey, what do you like to do for fun? What music do you like to do? What are some great skills that you have? Maybe what are some skills that you are really good at but not a lot of people know about? Or what's something you're really proud about? Or if you'd like to travel someplace, where would it be? You know, if you'd like to live in a place for like a year, just go and basically get away from everything, where would that be? Why? Or just approach it in a situation where you ask yourself, just silently to yourself, the question, hey, how can I find what this person's genuinely interested in? And once you find that, then it's like you just go deep on that topic and you really only have to find like one or two of those things the other person's interested in. And then just talk about that and share that experience. But it just feels like in doing so, it becomes a lot harder, to date and enjoy the moment. I also catch feelings fairly quickly, which might be another reason why I'd want to know what their values are before deciding whether I want this to go somewhere. I just don't think you logically do it that quickly. So it's like if you fall in attraction very quickly, it's usually an emotional decision that you basically justify with logic. You're trying to basically communicate right now in this last sentence that, oh, I'm logically trying to decide. What you'll find is oftentimes that's basically kind of the reverse. You'll emotionally decide and then you'll logically reason why you made that decision and reason why it's a good choice for you, whether that choice is actually good or bad. Does anyone else do this? Any insight, any thoughts? If you are doing this, you're living in a state of fear that basically another painful experience will happen, or you'll find somebody that was like a previous partner of yours that basically caused you pain. And so this pattern of thinking will really just lead to negative consequences in the relationship you're in. And sometimes it's tough to do. Sometimes it's tough to overcome that pain. And that's why a lot of people go to things like what she's doing with like a therapist or, just kind of running through those techniques. But it's like sometimes it's time that kind of heals that. Sometimes it distances yourself from that. Sometimes it's succeeding with another person. But what I've found to be the most effective is just to learn and to grow your skills in relationships. And it's like with that understanding comes a sense of security. And when you have that sense of security, it basically eliminates a lot of the uncertainty that you experience with a relationship. And uncertainty is associated a lot with that fear. And so, like, the more you can do to really increase your skills in relationships or whatever field you're really afraid to do, it could even be outside of relationships. But it's like if you increase your knowledge and increase your competence, what you'll find is oftentimes your confidence grows, your certainty grows, your comfortability grows. You can basically lead a relationship, or if you're not considered the leader, just kind of guide a relationship to success. And when you know that, it gives you that positive association, gives you kind of that light at the end of the tunnel. There is hope for me, hope for this relationship, and I have the control to basically change that and to improve that. Because there is a direct relationship and direct correlation between how much you know about relationships, attraction, how to communicate, how to know about the other men and women. And there's a direct correlation between your success and how much you know about relationships.